Welcome to my next video in my ongoing series on inexpensive vintage lenses. Now today we're going to look at a brand that you'll see frequently when you're rummaging through thrift stores or secondhand stores, when you're looking around for lenses on eBay, and that brand is Soligor. And not many people know a lot about the Soligor brand or what they did, but they have a long history and you see them frequently. They sold a lot of lenses and a lot of photography equipment over the years. So what we're going to do in this video is look a little at the company, what they offered, take a look at a couple of lenses they offered, take some pictures with them, decide whether or not you possibly want to add some of these lenses to your collection when you're shopping. They're not a lot of money, so they're easy to find, they're inexpensive, and you'll see they offered a wide array of lenses in different focal lengths and different iterations. But first, let's start with who was Soligor. And their history goes clear back to around World War II, when they were known as Allied Impex Corporation. Impex probably stood for import-export, because that's what they did. They imported photography equipment, rebranded it, and sold it under their name. And while mostly you'll see lenses out there, they sold a lot more than lenses. They sold accessories, inexpensive accessories that you could add, like this lens cap. Of course, they sold lenses. They sold photography accessories like this spot meter. This meter was probably marketed to compete with Pentex's spot meter. Very high quality, much lower cost than the Pentex spot meter. So they sold a lot of photography equipment. And they lasted as a company in some form or another clear up till 2011. I don't think they're in business any longer, but that doesn't mean you don't see lots of their stuff in the second-hand market. As I said, they rebranded most of their product sourced from Japanese manufacturers. And in this regard, they were very similar to Vivitar, whereas they would purchase product from well-known, well-respected, high-quality Japanese manufacturers, put their brand on it, and then resell it. Now, they offered a wide array of lenses in not only standard sizes like a 35 millimeter f3.5 like this, and prime lenses 200 f4.5 like this, but also lots of wide angle, odd sized lenses all the way up to super telephoto lenses. It was a very broad offering of lenses. They also teamed up with Tokina, a well-known Japanese manufacturer, to put together interchangeable mount lenses. So you could buy one lens and get different mounts that were easily adapted to that lens, so you could change it from camera to camera, wouldn't have to buy a new lens. And this was all part of their value proposition, to offer high quality, low cost lenses to the amateur photographer. And as I said, they worked with a wide array of Japanese suppliers, and they worked hand in hand with them to develop high-end, low-cost equipment. Now, they didn't just offer this low-cost equipment. They offered different levels of quality in their own offering. They offered what was called the CD and GS lines of lenses. CD, I'm not sure what it stood for. It's been called compact design or computer design. Not sure what the CD actually stood for, but it was a step up from their normal offering. And they also offered the GS line, which was the Gold Series line. And these were manufactured by a company called Sun Optics, a small Japanese manufacturer, and they offered this higher premium line for Soligor. Now what we're going to do is take a look at a couple of lenses that Soligor offered, take some pictures with them, and then let you decide whether or not you'd like to purchase a Soligor lens to add to your collection. They offer these lenses in a wide array of camera mounts, in Pentax, Canon, Nikon, Konica, Olympus, all were available, along with some obscure mounts like Miranda and Exacta, and of course standard T-mount lenses, which allowed you to use traditional threaded T-mounts and adapt to your camera. So what we're going to do is look at a few of these lenses, and then we'll be back after we look at them. So stay tuned. We're looking at Soligor lenses. When searching for Soligor lenses, it's helpful to know which manufacturer made the lens. It's thought that Soligor, similar to Vivitar, used the serial number to identify the manufacturer. Soligor enthusiasts have put together a list that's helpful in classifying the Soligor lens offering. Although I don't think it's been completely authenticated, it is a good indicator of the manufacturer. As you can see, there's a substantial number of quality manufacturers that contributed to Soligor's line of lenses. We're going to look at a few lenses, take some photos, and assess the quality of these lenses. First, we'll look at a standard 28mm f2.8. This is a very common lens iteration, and you'll see many optics companies offering similar lenses. The Soligor lens we're looking at today was manufactured by Sun Optics. Although Sun was not known as a premium lens manufacturer, they did make competent lenses and were a major supplier to Soligor. I took a couple of photos with this lens and found it to be fine. Maybe not as sharp as other 28mm f2.8 lenses, but certainly it does the job. The next lens we're going to look at is a portrait 135 f2.8. Again, this is a very common lens configuration and is a staple of most photographers. This lens that we're looking at was manufactured by Tokina, and it is very good. It's sharp, easy to use, and well constructed. Tokina worked closely with Soligor and supplied them with numerous different lenses and innovative camera offerings. Now we're going to look at one of the T-mount lenses offered by Soligor. This is a 200mm f4.5 that appears to be manufactured by Comine. Now, not much is known about Comine, but they are believed to have started manufacturing lenses after World War II. They also appear to have been a major supplier to Vivitar. T-mount lenses were popular in the 1960s and early 70s because photographers could use the same lens with different camera mounts by just changing the inexpensive threaded adapter. With only a maximum aperture of f4.5, this lens isn't fast, but it does the job, and it's a nice prime lens that you usually should be able to find for under $30, so very inexpensive. Finally, one of the lenses I think you should probably stay away from is this Soligor 400mm f6.3. Again, this lens was manufactured by Sun. It's difficult to use. It has a minimum focusing distance of about 30 feet, and it's hard to focus. It's similar to other inexpensive 400mm telephotos in that it's not fast. It only has a maximum aperture of f6.3, so it's not going to be good in many applications where there's movement and low light. And it's kind of, when it comes to long-range telephoto lenses, it's better to spend the money and get something that works really well. The long lenses, you seem to get what you pay for. We've had the opportunity to look at a couple of Soligor lenses and take some pictures, and I'm going to say I think Soligor represents a good buy when it comes to vintage lenses. They offered a wide line of lenses, all manufactured by high-quality Japanese optical firms, and they're plentiful and very reasonably priced. You can get them for next to nothing at thrift stores usually. I would just say to look at them closely, make sure there's no fungus or scratches on them before you buy them, but they do represent a good buy. So look for them. You won't have to look hard for them. There's many of them out there, and thanks for watching.